All right, y'all. Welcome to San Miguel TV. We're back. It's Friday, January 31st. Right now, man, it's about to be February 1st in a minute. Crazy. There's a lot of crazy shit happening right now in this throughout the 50 states. The main thing I want to talk about, I guess, tonight is these plane crashes that's going on. First, you have the one in DC, the American Airlines commercial flight, and then just some some hours ago, you have the small plane that crash landed in Philly near the Roosevelt Mall, which they said is a commercial, not a commercial, a medical plane. I forgot what it was called. Some medical assignment is how they word it. But yeah, I just wanted to play some of these videos because I just posted a video on YouTube, but I don't know what the hell YouTube's doing. YouTube ain't showing my videos, man. They ain't suggesting my videos. I noticed that as soon as I post a video, they'll they'll hit me with an ad suitability thing, which I have to go and put it under review, and this shit's crazy. I don't understand why they do that, but I'm gonna play the video from here since I don't know if it's getting suggested like that. I mean, there was a few videos I wanted to show, but I guess let's just go right to my own channel, man. But I hope everybody's good out there, man. Philly, where y'all at? Where Philly at? I hope y'all good out there, man. This shit's crazy. Let's go to my channel here. Boom. That's definitely my video. I mean, there's a lot of news coverage on this right now, man. What's going on all throughout Philly and first, I mean, we've been talking about this American Airlines flight. That shit's crazy because they saying that shit collided with an Army um, helicopter. That's kind of crazy if you ask me. Let's see here. We got YouTube channel. Yeah, I guess I'll give it a minute for people to join. I'm gonna just make sure that everything's good on my end. Let me see if I can find my shit. Here we go. Boom. My videos. All right, here we go. Boom. Okay. Make sure that's straight. What the hell's going on there? This is my own video right here. I guess I'll share it. Footage of the plane crashing in Philly.
Oh shit, a plane just fucking crashed. Oh shit.
And this man walks away from the wreckage on fuego. Holy shit. Check out this footage of a small plane that crashes in Philadelphia near the Roosevelt Mall. This is insane. This is the second plane in a week. First, that happened in DC with the American American Airlines flight. And now in Philly, this small plane that they said was on a medical assignment comes crashing down. First, you had the drones in Jersey, people making a big deal out of that. Now planes are falling out the sky in DC and Philly. What's going on?
Yeah, man. She's yeah. All right.
That's crazy.
Oh shit! A plane just fucking crashed. Oh shit!
And this man walks away from the wreckage on fuego. Holy shit. They're blaming it on Trump. What the hell? Check out this footage of a small plane that crashes in Philadelphia near the Roosevelt Mall. This is insane. This is the second plane in a week. First, it happened in DC with the American Airlines flight. And now in Philly, this small plane that they said was on a medical assignment comes crash. Yeah, that's some of the stuff that's going on, man. I mean, we could talk about a lot. There's more than that. We could talk about Trump, the immigration that's going on, the immigration lockdown, the migrant pretty much deportation is what's going on. Yeah, that's not a bad thing either. Like, I know people complaining about that. Like, they're like, oh shit, this is bad. It's no good, man. We're getting rid of our Mexicans. They're not getting rid of all Mexicans, man. Like that shit's crazy, man. There's videos of Selena Gomez crying, talking about her people, man. Meanwhile, she won't never come nowhere near some of these major cities in Mexico, especially the ones that are have the most crime. There are like I think like 5 cities in Mexico have like some of the highest crime statistics in the entire world. I mean, you gotta admit that these people, they want to stay. For a country that's so oppressive against blacks and Hispanics and migrants, for them to be kicking and screaming as they're being hauled off lets you know that this place is actually not as bad as they make it seem, man. It's weird how people, they love their Mexico from afar. Selena Gomez wants to love Mexico from afar. She won't dare move to the city of Colima or Tijuana or Chihuahua, Mexico, and all these different places where she won't feel safe at all. She won't be safe at all, actually. Like, these are cities that are ran by like the cartel and shit. You have the murder rate in Mexico, I think, is the worst in the whole world. Like, that shit wasn't always like that, man. It wasn't like that for years. But the government has been taken over by the cartel. Those are the people that have the money. They run the drugs. They run everything up in their politics. And I wouldn't be surprised if the current president of Mexico is connected to the cartels. I think it's a woman, right? I'm trying to remember who's the current president. I don't know. I've seen some woman talking shit, talking about, whatever. People always try to get all my people and my people. It's like, you don't want to be around your people. Not right now, man. Depending on where you're from. You're from Mexico, man, you're gonna have some problems around your peoples. But I mean, anybody could come on the live. Cartel, something vicious, man. What they do, there's so many videos out here of people going online talking shit to the cartel, and then weeks later they come up dead. Days later, they try to apologize. Like, oh shit, what the hell? They try to do it just for clout. They don't realize, like, yo, this shit ain't nothing to play with. This shit ain't nothing to play with. Why do you think they don't want to go back to these countries? America is so oppressive and so bad, but when it's time for you to go back and leave America, you're kicking and screaming and shit. You're hollering like, "Oh no!" But yeah, America is so oppressive, man. I can't do nothing in this country, man. Shut your yapping, man. Shut it. We got to start taking responsibility. You know, yeah, I think people really are just deceived by this certain, like, like people think like they're cool when they, be rebel. Like you want to rebel against the government or you want to be a rebel. Like that's part of being a Hebrew Israelite too. Is like you think that you're the underdog and the government is, Goliath pretty much, and you're King David with just a, slingshot. You don't have much, like it's kind of like that is very poetic to people. And I think that's why people talk the way that they talk. Selena Gomez crying over here. Like, first of all, how Mexican are you? Like, you ain't that Mexican, man. You don't want no parts of your Mexican family until now. You want to be this some type of like savior. I mean, she's already been done a movie or some type of documentary about being Mexican in America and covering the immigrations, and the migrants that's been out here. I mean, listen, Mexico is America. You know, Mexicans have been out here forever. I mean, shit. How far back you want to go? I mean, before Puerto Ricans came to New York, you had Mexicans in fucking what they call New Mexico. You got El Paso, Texas. El Paso is known as the path. That's what it means in Spanish. That's the path right into Mexico. I mean, that's the path that most people take to get in and out. But New Mexico has some of the highest crime. When it comes to states in America, New Mexico has like the highest crime rate as of 2023. Mexico has like the highest crime rate in the world. Like they have like 5-6 cities that rank like top 10 in the world. So that's crazy. The New World Order, the NWO. As far as I know about the NWO, that it's always been known as a conspiracy theory where people claim that there's some type of organization that's running things behind the scene, and their world order is pretty much going to bring forth a world court, some type of a way where it's not so divided, and they can, kind of like what people try to compare this to, the Tower of Babel with Nimrod, and how Nimrod was trying to, I guess, take over a big population of people. This is kind of like what this New World Order is supposed to be. If you're talking about the wrestling group, I fuck with the NWO, Hulk Hogan, and all of that. But there's not much I can say about something that there's like not a lot of real evidence about. Just people claim shit all the time. To have like to make a claim that spans generations, make a claim that there's people in control that have been in control for hundreds of years. It's like, what are these people, vampires or something? Because if you create an agenda, now you can only continue or push that agenda for as long as you're fucking alive. So now there's supposed to be other people that take on this agenda and keep this shit going, you know, and that's what makes it more and more impossible the longer you say that this thing, you know, it has been going on. And you look at the dollar bill and it says Norvos Ordo Secular, whatever, which means a new age order, a new order for the age, or a new world order, which is Latin. Yeah, you have people that want to push America in certain directions, and then they die, and other people want to do other things. You know, like what Trump is doing. I think with this country is making big changes, and it's big drastic changes, which is not always, which is could be scary to some people. But I think it's been a long time coming that we needed to get rid of some of these, um, you know, federal laws, these government, like there's too much power. The government has too much power. When you want to, you know, force federal regulations on businesses to comply with federal stuff and all this, and it's like, you're an owner of your own business. You should have the power to do what you want to do with your own company. People shouldn't tell you that you should have a certain amount of gay people, or you should have a certain amount of black people, or this. And if you don't, it's because you're racist, or this and that. And that's not always the case, man. Like, chill. There's a lot of black people that they don't want to work, you know, or they do work, and they might not be the best one for the job, or Mexicans, or even white people themselves, or a woman. They want to hire you. You got to hire women, and white women are the biggest recipients of this affirmative action. You know, all this protection that comes with all this stuff. It's white women, because white women make up about 30% of the population, and black people, women and men, make up only about 13% of the population. So you're gonna have more white people that do everything, and that are the biggest population and everything. Just like there's more white people that get shot by police every year. A lot of people don't know that. But of course, there's more white people that get shot by police every year. There's more white people in this country, 5 times more than black people, 5 or 6 times more than black people. But what they don't do is murder more. That's what's crazy about the population disparity. When you compare to the murder rate, that shit shouldn't be the way that it is. I don't know what the hell's going on, and I can't believe people are constantly denying this shit. Especially when you live in cities like Philadelphia, or St. Louis, or Detroit, Flint, Michigan, Baton Rouge. Yo, these are some of the worst cities to live in. New Mexico. Well, that's a state, but what's the city in New Mexico? It's something with a C. I forget. And it's mostly Native Americans in that city. Colors, I think, or cut. I forget what it's called. But if you look up, what city in New Mexico has the highest crime? It'll show you that city that's mostly Native American. It's crazy. But yeah, I can't speak on a lot of things. Like when it comes to like these conspiracy theories, it's always somebody that's using some information, and then they're blowing it up to be something bigger than what it is. But yeah, man, they found a dead body in the trash can a block from my house yesterday morning. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy as fuck. How far was that crash from where you're at? That plane crash in Philly? Because you showed me that. I didn't even know about that when I came home, and I just started watching Clash of the Titans. This movie and shit I've been wanting to watch. I said, let me watch this. But yeah, I was showing that just before y'all started coming on. Damn, plane crashed in Philly, man. It was crazy. Let's see if we can pull that up again. Because I don't know what YouTube is doing with my shorts. Every time I post a video, I has to be under review. That's why I posted a video yesterday about January 6th. And immediately it went into, oh, it's not suitable for because of the ads or whatever, all that shit. So I can't monetize it to the fullest. Not only that, they don't suggest it to as much people. Like, I don't know what's going on. And they gave me the review. They said, okay, you can monetize. Like, I won the review request. And I look at the video got like 20 views. I'm like, what the hell's going on, man? This is a short. Shorts usually get at least 100 views, like in a day. What the hell? I don't know, but we could play that video again. Man, YouTube be bugging, man. YouTube be taking over my shit. First of all, they suspended my account for a little while. They suspended my monetization. But yeah, look, I got one view. Come on, this is footage that's only found on.
Yeah, man. She's still hanging.
Oh shit, a plane just fucking crashed. Oh shit.
And this man walks away from the wreckage on fuego. Holy shit. So anybody could come on my live. I wish I was doing it. Check out this footage of a small plane that crashes in Philadelphia near the Roosevelt Mall. This is insane. This is the second plane in a week. First, it happened in D.C. with the American Airlines flight. And now in Philly, this small plane that they said was on a medical assignment comes crashing down. First, you had the drones in Jersey, people making a big deal out of that. Now planes are falling out the sky in D.C. and Philly. What's going on?
Yeah, man. She's still hanging.
Oh shit, a plane just fucking crashed. Oh shit.
And this man walks away from the wreckage on fuego. Holy shit. Holy shit. Check out this footage of a small plane that crashes in Philadelphia near the Roosevelt Mall. This is insane. I mean, all right. I love when I get Hebrew Israelites on here. I was expecting some of y'all to come on and at least talk your nonsense, but Yasha Allah, I mean, if God speaks to you and told you that he has a special judgment for me, then you must have some beautiful, beautiful evidence of that. But I think that you're just talking out of your behind. So can you tell me what this judgment is for me? Am I gonna live my natural life as Tazadaki was claiming? You know, like there's a dude in your community, or there was. His name was is that Elvis? His name was Tazadaki or Jermaine Grant. And nah, this is the only dope I use right here. Some kombucha, baby. This is my medicine. But if you're saying that God has a judgment for me, you seem kind of bugged out. Like, well, how do you know this? Hey, Miguel, you're a dope fiend. What do you mean? What dope? What do you mean, like marijuana? Some people consider marijuana dope. Yeah, I smoke some weed sometimes. So, what of it? What's it to you? Yeah, the Savior did smoke. He wanted us to burn all types of shit, all types of smoke, frankincense and myrrh, all that stuff. We had to burn that in the temple. So in the temple, there was always smoke. So why can't I put smoke in my temple? Speak now. Or you could come on the live stream, man. You don't have to show your face either. Hebrew Israelites are hilarious, man. Did the Savior smoke? The Savior. Cats need somebody to save them. What do you think the burning bush was all about? It was they were burning some greens, and then they hallucinate and see God. I mean, have you ever hallucinated and seen God? Because maybe you was on some shit. Some of the stuff y'all be talking about, it seems like y'all the ones that are on some stuff. Hebrew Israelites, man, I'll be asking for y'all to constantly like join my live stream so we can talk. And I mean, I rarely get somebody that's brave enough to do that. One time I got a Hebrew Israelite, the last Hebrew Israelite that came on, he jumped off real quick. So, but I think this guy might be a troll too. Like, you're finished through. That's not how you spell through, and that's not how you spell your. When you're saying you are finished, you're supposed to put an apostrophe with the ER at the end. Even I know that, you know, as a dope fiend. And even as a dope fiend, mama. Hebrew Israelites, you guys are entertaining as hell. That's why people pay you any attention. You know, this is what was going on. This is what was going on with the Israelites right here. Let's go to some scriptures. We got just 2016. First Chronicles chapter 12, verse 2. Let's see. There's a scripture that talks about the Benjamites pretty much fighting the whole nation Israel. This is in Judges chapter 20, I believe. Let's see if we could read some of that, man. We get a nice little reading for the night. You know, we read a chapter. Judges chapter 20. I'll share my screen right now. We could read this right out the Bible. All right. Can y'all see that? I think these are some interesting scriptures, man. Let's get into the scriptures on tonight's Sabbath. It says, all the children of Israel went out, and the congregation was gathered together as one man from Dan even to Beersheba, with the land of Gilead unto the Lord in Mizpeh. Why does it say unto the Lord in Mizpeh? Yeah, I just said that, Yasha Allah. Ooh, ouch. Like, that shit's so horrible. Calm the hell down. This okay, man. You're gonna be all right. We got Book of Judges chapter 20, verse 2. And the chief of all the people, even of all the tribes of Israel, presented themselves in the assembly of the people of God, 400,000 footmen that drew sword. Now, I want you to prove that all this even happened. I would love for you to prove that all of this or any of this even happened, that there were this certain amount of people, you know, that exactly this certain amount, this number came out and presented themselves and all of that. Like the numbers of the number of the children of Israel during the time of King David wasn't even this big. It says, now the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel were gone up to Mizpeh. Then said the children of Israel, tell us, how was this wickedness? And the Levite, husband of the woman that was slain, answered and said, I came into Gibeah that belongeth to Benjamin, I and my concubine to lodge. You see, people have, like, Israelites be having concubines and shit, you know, and to them, having a concubine is just so normal. Like, that's nothing. You can just have a woman that you can use and abuse and whatever. and oh, I smoked weed, though. I smoked a little bit of weed, but these men have, like, sex slaves. These are sex slaves, is what a concubine is. Yeah. Somebody got to tell this cat, you're smoking weed on the Sabbath. Ha ha ha. I mean, so I could smoke weed, I guess, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it on the Sabbath, according to this cat, because that makes it so much more worse for some reason, because it's a day. Aren't you on my channel on the Sabbath? Like, why are you listening to San Miguel TV on the Sabbath? I'm wondering about that. I wonder about y'all sometimes. Savan says, Yasha Allah, you're a joke. You have broken the law already. So why are you judging by the old law, hypocrite? Yeah, Yasha Allah, why don't you come on the live stream so I can ask you what you plan to do for the Feast of Tabernacles this year? How are you going to celebrate that feast? Where are you going to keep the Feast of Tabernacles? Are you going to build a makeshift tent in somebody's backyard or in a park using some sheets and, you know, four posts? And you're going to you know, camp out in the wilderness with your family and your friends, your brothers and your sisters, to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. Make sure you don't smoke no weed. Make sure you get them tents up, though, man. Make sure you get them tents up. Yeah, IUIC is doing it. IUIC is actually doing it. But these cats that, like Yasha Allah 144, who calls Jesus Christ Yahweh Shai, I'm sure that he doesn't keep the Feast of Tabernacles because he feels he's in slavery. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man rather than a fool in his folly. Yeah, it's just like poetry. I know it sounds great, but here we go. And the men of Gibeah rose against me and beset the house round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me, and my concubine have they forced, that she is dead. Yo, they raped the hell out of her. They abused her so much she died. You know, not only did they kill her, this is what they did. And I took my concubine and cut her in pieces and sent her throughout all the country of the inheritance of Israel, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel. See, I never done anything like this, Mr. Yasha Allah. But here you have your people that you claim to be your people. They had their way with another man's concubine, and then the man whose concubine, who this concubine belonged to him, got her dead body, cut it up into all these different pieces, and sent them to the nation of Israel all throughout the land. Like, what the hell is that? What kind of, like, this is like a soap opera, man. This can't be real. This is not life. But it's a nice story. Then it says, behold, ye are all children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel. And all the people arose as one man, saying, we will not any of us go to this tent, neither will we any of us turn into his house. But now this shall be the thing which we will do to Gibeah. We will go up by lot against it, and we will take 10 men of 100 throughout all the tribes of Israel, and 100 of 1,000, and 1,000 of 10,000 to fetch victual for the people, that they may do when they come to the Gibeah of Benjamin, according to all the folly that they have wrought in Israel. This is barbarism. They're going to go and now make war with the Benjamites, with their own people. And what you're going to have is a war between the nation of Israel and the Benjamites, even though they're supposed to be dealing with God. You still have this going on amongst these Hebrew Israelites. You have this going on amongst all these different groups. You have people that can't get together and can't join up because they have all these different issues. And it's mostly about power. That's what it is. These people are greedy as hell. These so-called Hebrew Israelites, man. I mean, they're claiming that there's something that they read in the Bible has all these blessings. It's like it's so convenient that the people that you supposedly are these chosen people that have all these blessings coming to them. So now your entire belief, it's like it's a conflict of interest with your own belief, because you're claiming that your belief, based on your belief, you're supposed to be the ruler of the world. You're supposed to be owning other nations, and you can take other women from nations, from these other nations, women from these other nations, and turn them into your sex slaves. And you're supposed to be given thumbs up, and God will wink at that, right? Well, not even, because that's not even your ignorance. God is supposed to wink at your ignorance, but in these situations where you're going to have concubines and you're going to be able to kill the children and the babies of Edomites and dash the babies against the stones, like, come on, man. All that shit, you ain't going to do none of that stuff. Some of y'all can't even damn put a damn, y'all too scared to do your own, like, stitches or something, or maybe pierce your own ear or something, like a little basic piercing of your body, your own body. You're gonna tell me you're gonna have the balls? God is gonna put the spirit on you, so you can have the balls, and the heartlessness is what it is. You're gonna have no heart. God is going to put that on you. He's going to make you feel so evil, so angry, that you're going to want to bash the heads of little white babies against stones, man. Come on, man. But cheers to my people out there, man. What's good? My man, my brother, D. Mitchie. Peace to you, man. Yasha Allah says, how many foolish thoughts do you have each day through that monkey bird brain of yours, Miguel? Thinking of things you have no business thinking about. I have no business thinking about. This guy wants to enforce thought control laws, where how the hell can you even manage or really control people's thoughts, man? This is crazy. Like this comment is amazing. How many stupid thoughts do you have throughout the day, man? That's what I want to know. What the hell comes into your mind? You know, like, come on, man. He said a monkey bird brain. That's a great one. Good job, Yasha Allah. You're making us laugh, man. Appreciate your presence. But yeah, man, we could talk about a lot of these things, man. I've been talking about these plane crashes. I think that it's interesting how people were making a big deal out of the drones that was being seen in Jersey, right? What's going on with drones? It's up in the sky. Up in the sky? Up in the sky. So people looking up, man, and they wondering what's going on up there in the sky. The sky is more unknown, I think, than to when it comes to people like looking up in the sky. People they feel like there's something bigger than them when they look up into the sky. You feel like you really start to feel how insignificant you are, how small, how minute you are compared to everything at large, right? So, and it's you're very fearful of what might come out of the sky. Anything, like you look at these people coming out of their cribs or just driving down the street in Philly, and then out of nowhere, out of the sky, here comes a plane, Fire in the Sky, which was a great movie, by the way. Fire in the Sky. Now you got in DC, which is not far from Jersey, when we talk about how far these drones can go, these drones could be remotely controlled up to 300 miles, I think. It takes 1,000 miles to get from Orlando to New York City. It's like 1,000 miles. So I think from Jersey, 300 miles, you can get pretty freaking far. But, I'm not trying to claim that none of this, that any of this is correlated or connected in any way. But yeah, A Sharp said, I saw the drones too by Jersey. Yeah. Why did that happen, Miguel? I don't know what you mean by that. So you're going to have to explain yourself, because I'm sure you have some answers to your own questions. That's why you're questioning me. Like, let me see your answer. Because if anybody says, well, I don't know. Like I just said, I'm not going to correlate or connect any of this stuff. But it's very interesting how you have all this talk about drones going on back in December, November, I think it was. And then it was December. And then you had the American Airlines flight that crashed into a military helicopter. That's what happened with the American Airlines flight. It crashed into a military helicopter, right? That's what the reports say. You want to make it seem like you have some secret information, which is what cult members always do. You have some secret knowledge. So put us on. Tell us what happened, sir. That's why I'm giving you the link for you to come on and be a brave soldier, man. Be a brave little toaster. Come on here. Do it for the Lord on the Sabbath day. Do you believe the excuse of them being aware of them? They were hush at first. I don't know if they were aware of them at the time, but you can hear the reports of them afterwards saying that it was different testings going on, and then other people that had, because there's people that have drones that you can stand on. There's people that have drones that you can literally stand on and shit. They're that big. So those people started, I think, joining in on that is what happened. And people, anytime people see something in the sky, they think it's like, oh my God. And we don't know what it is. That's the thing. When you don't know, stop trying to give an answer like you know. So my question is, when you say who made the plane crash, you're asking what's called a loaded question, because you're assuming that somebody made the plane crash, right? The reports that came out was that the American Airlines plane crashed with a helicopter, with a military helicopter. The one in Philly, I haven't heard any reports of what happened because it just happened. But somehow, something that just happened, you have all the information, all the secret information that we don't have. Somehow you have it, right? So go ahead and tell us it was God, and give us the proof that it was God. He said, who made the plane crash? Does every time a plane crash, is it a person that makes it happen? Is that what you think? Do sometimes do planes sometimes crash because of a faulty engine or crash into something else? Can that ever happen? What do you mean? Who? He wants to say that is God. Can you prove that God made the plane crash? That's a better question. Can you prove that God made the plane crash? Because that's what he wants to go into, man. Yo, y'all cats are crazy as hell, man. What they'll do is they'll reverse the burden of proof. They have the burden of proof. They have it in their mind that God did this. Just go ahead and say God did it. When you start off a question, who did this? You're presuming that somebody is to blame. Sometimes a plane will crash and it's not a person that did it, or anybody can be, you point a finger, it was him, it was his fault. You can't always do that. So what do you mean, who made the plane crash? He believes God made the plane crash. So now you have to prove that God made the plane crash. You can't even give me a scripture that says that God is going to make planes crash. Show me a scripture that God said he's going to make planes crash. Show me that. Because that's the only proof that you're going to think. I don't know. If he's saying it's the government, why would he ask who? Like, when you're asking who, it's a person, or you could be asking, I guess, many people. I guess the government is a group of many people. So the government made the planes crash? How do we know that, though? I can't even say that right now. It's just planes crashing. Planes crash all the time. Sometimes it goes 6 months, a year, 2 years, where maybe no planes crash that we know about. That's not something that you're aware of. You can probably look up plane crashes in the last year, and you'll be surprised how many planes crashed that you never heard about. But you're focused in a certain location, and your pattern thinking mind wants to assume that it's all connected because blah, blah, blah. We don't know that at all, man. What are you trying to say is happening right now? Oh, the government's doing this because why is the government making planes crash in the sky? Some people will say that we're under attack by aliens, and that's what's making the planes crash. So the people that are saying that, there's actual people that think that. Then there's Hebrew Israelites that think that God is those aliens, that there's like, this is the beginning of the end. This is literally what some of y'all think. I know this is what some of y'all are saying, because I can already see the conversations that are being had in the Israelite community about these shits. I can already hear it, man. I hear this shit already. And they're going to say the government, the evil white man. The media will direct it as well. Well, the media is the people right now. Like, this is why I started putting out, so much news on my channel, because, there's media that gets publicized nationally or even internationally, worldwide. Sometimes that can be orchestrated. Sometimes that's just because things go viral. People are interested in certain things more than other things. So sometimes things will go viral. Of course, a plane crashing in the streets of Philly, that's going to go crazy viral. Now, what people are starting to do is connect that to the planes that crashed in D.C. with the military. And then because it's a military helicopter, it's in D.C., all those bells and whistles are going to go off in the conspiracy theorist fucking mind, man. Of course, man. This is the perfect situation for them. There's going to be so many videos coming out about that. And I'm here to tell you, I don't know. It's okay to say that you don't know. Even the scripture in the Bible tells you that my thoughts, God said, my thoughts are not your thoughts. There's some things that are going to be unknown, and you have to be okay with just saying, I don't know. And if you don't know the answer, that's better than you giving an answer that's incorrect because you're trying to appeal to some crowd or something. So Hebrew Israelite tries to appeal to their people. They're going to assume that this plane crashing, this is like the UFOs, you know, the extraterrestrials, which are the angels up in the sky. They're coming back, man. They're making the second coming. That's not, the Bible describes it as the second coming or the destruction is going to be like one big ordeal. Not that it's going to slowly happen a little bit here and a little bit there and that and that. It's like it's going to be one day at a moment's time, things are going to flip completely upside down. That's what it is. So, Yasha Allah, come join the live stream. Stop hiding on the sideline because that's your safe space right now. You're all feeling all safe, but you're breaking the Sabbath right now, I think, by being on my channel. You're supposed to be focusing on God, and you're listening to San Miguel TV bore you away. I'm boring you to death. Like I'm supposed to be here to entertain you. Are you not entertained? There's many lives that were lost in these flights, you know, and that's the first and foremost, you know, like that's a sad situation. Hebrew Israelites' mind is like ADHD, like they constantly want to be entertained and be told that something bigger than what's really going on is happening, you know, so you get bored easily because you want me to tell you that fucking aliens are coming down and shooting lasers at these airplanes and the government doesn't want to report it, but that's what's actually going on. This is the beginning of the second coming of Christ. That shit is exciting as hell to you, man. This is what you want to hear. Yeah, man, praise Yahweh. Kum Yashala, Kum Yashala, Kum Yashala, Kum Yashala. Y'all cats are crazy, man. That's what you want to hear, man. But I'm going to tell you this truth is that we don't know what's going on. The truth is very boring, man. You're going to be yawning all night. The truth is very simple, man. You want to hear some crazy ass, like, yo, you know what's really happening is that Jesus Christ is doing this. And it's like, oh my God, that's amazing. You want an amazing story right now. You want to be lied to. Lie to me. Lie to me. That's what you're saying. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. The lies are so interesting. You know, that's why people watch sci-fi and Star Trek and Clash of the Titans and shit. That shit's amazing, man. Like some of the shit that you watch on TV, you know, people, they get bored with life and they try to escape life, which is boring, and try to connect it to sci-fi, science fiction, shit that's not real. And that's why you read your Bible, man. You want to escape from reality. My bad. You know, I had to throw that. But I was just watching Clash of the Titans, the 2010 movie. And damn, I want to go back and watch the old Clash of the Titans that came out like in the 60s or 70s or some shit. That movie was crazy, man. That shit was dope. I don't know if y'all remember that old school movie. That Medusa scene was my favorite, man. Like, it's Greek mythology and shit. This is mythology. Mythology is what kept people interested back in the days. And, you know, people would read about this and it was amazing. And they were like, wow, this is amazing. This is with the gods and the demigods and Zeus and Medusa and Perseus. And they have a Leviathan in Greek mythology. It's called Kraken. Have you ever heard of the Kraken? He had 5 heads, I think is what it was. You know, the Kraken. That's Leviathan. And you're gonna say, well, they're just biting off of the Hebrew Israelites. Well, it's all mythology, is what it seems like. Yasha Allah, I invite you to come on. I keep putting the link, thinking that you might be brave enough to come on, but it's very easy to hide on the internet. That's what people that have something to hide do. A lot of these child predators hide on the internet, and they stalk or they prey on their next victim, hiding behind a screen because they're afraid that they're going to get exposed. You know, they know that they're doing something wrong. If you know that you're not doing anything wrong, how come you won't come on my live and we can have a conversation about all the right that you're doing, that nobody can see how right you are, man. Everybody's just so goddamn wrong. Hebrew Israelites got the truth, man. They know about everything, bro. An event could just have happened, and they have all the answers for it, man. While detectives are working hard to piece everything together, they already have all the answers. There's people that are like, what happened? Let's figure it out. Let's do a diagnostic test on the engine or whatever the hell they have left. Let's see what happened. What is the, because you know there's like messages that are sent to a database with every time a plane like engine malfunctions or something within the plane malfunctions. It's not all lost just because the plane crashed. There's messages that are given into it and being fed into a whole database, a whole system that can be looked into. So what if they come out and said, well, the engine failed and the plane went down? Sometimes the engines will fail. You know, it might be somebody's mistake that they didn't do something. And you want to ask me right now, who made the plane crash? Well, look, these messages are crazy. Who made plane crash? Who made plane crash? This guy's like a fucking caveman. Who made plane crash? Who made plane crash? Me like chicken. That's what you sound like to me. Yasha Allah likes goat. Who made plane crash? Who made plane crash? Yo, this thing is crazy. He said, for by the words I shall be justified, and by the words I shall be condemned. Bro, you sound like a caveman. Think you might have some goddamn Neanderthal DNA up in you. The white man done put his Neanderthal DNA all up in you, man. Come on, man. How you gonna let him do that? Bro, it's a plane. Planes fall. Planes malfunction. We're not supposed to be up in the sky, man. How the hell did we end up in the sky in a machine that weighs fucking 1,000 times more than you? 20,000 times more than you. I don't know. That shit's flying. And it falls down and it crashes, things malfunction, and you're like, oh, how can it do? There's no way a plane can. It's a fucking human, it's human error sometimes, man. But something that might be human error, you're gonna say, well, God, this or the angels shot down a laser from their UFO or whatever. Like, what are you talking about, man? How do we know any of that is true? We don't know. So it's best to shut your yapper and be honest. Be honest with all of us. Be honest with yourself, man. And just say that you don't know. Yo, you just don't know at this time. It's not known. Which white man? What do you mean, the white man? Which one are you talking about? Because there's many white people. It's not just one white man. The white man. This is straight cult thinking 101. They generalize a group of people to just one person. So it's a stereotype. That's what it's called. Let's do that. Let's go into overgeneralization. And this goes into also the plane crashing and all of that. You know, people always think that things are connected to something bigger than themselves because it's a big event. So therefore, it must have some big causations. You have a big effect, and the causation must be just as big. That's how they think. Do you like the white man? Overgeneralization is a cognitive distortion that occurs when someone assumes a single event will apply to all similar events. So you think that there's an event that happened with a plane crashing in Philly. There's a similar event of a plane crashing in DC. Now you think that all of that is all kind of mixed in and all has to do with each other. So then it says it can involve making broad assumptions based on limited experience. All right, stereotyping. What do we know about stereotyping? How do I feel about the white man, the one and only white man that there is on earth? How do I feel about that guy? Esau, right? That's what he's trying to set me up. All these loaded questions. He has all these beliefs already about Esau. So a stereotype is to repeat without variation, make hackneyed, to develop a mental stereotype about. What is a stereotype? A plate cast from a printing service, something conforming to a fixed or general pattern. So you're trying to follow patterns, like I was saying. That's the noun. Let's see. We can just get the basic fucking definition of this without all this extra shit. Merriam-Webster. Do you like the white man? Has the white man treated you good? You know, that one white man that comes to your job and brings you donuts, or the white man that tells you what to do at your job. Do you like that white man? How about the white man that says, make America great again? The white man. A stereotype is a generalized belief about a particular category of people. You see that? This is what's going on. Now it says it is an expectation that people might have about every person of a particular group. So the white man that owns your little apartment, the one you pay rent to, how do you know it's a white person that owns my apartment that I pay rent to? How does it feel to be a slave in America? How do you feel in America? Do you feel that you're a slave, Yasha Allah? Because why don't you leave America? You know, I know that you hate your existence. You hate every day of your life, and you're upset right now. You're mad at, like, there's people, you know, like I'm actually working towards getting my own house, and there's people Actually, my I'm not even going to give you all the information I have about owning and what I own and all of that. But there are people in this country that own property, right? But they're still slaves too. You who's your slave master? Yasha Allah. That's my question to you. Who is your slave master? Because why don't you tell him that you're a free man according to the current laws in this country? Tell them that you're not supposed to be tied down. He's saying that he's a slave in America while he's typing from a whole other location. I don't know where you're at. You're making a connection on San Miguel TV, but you're a slave. Yeah, what's wrong with working to get your own house? What the hell? He's laughing at that. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to own property. You know, that's the goal. Buy your own shit, make your own thing. Like you being on my channel right now is actually, because I have my channel monetized, Yasha Allah. You're actually helping my monetization of my channel. I'm making money off of you coming on my channel and making, being an audience, creating entertaining content. Yo, this dude he's very entertained right now. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on my channel that you give views to. But I'm a slave and you're a slave. Like, come on, man. Yeah, man. Everybody has to work. The Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. But at least I'm not living, Yasha Allah, at least I'm not living in my mother's house. And that's why you can't go on a live and actually speak to me, because you're going to expose your whole background, or you're going to wake up your mother or something like that, because you're actually living in your mother's house. And now he wants to go because he realizes that he's the entertainment right now. The joke's on you, sir. The joke's on you. And you refuse to come on a live stream because I think that you're living in your mother's house, which is even worse than you having your own rented out apartment. Like, come on, son. I bet you I have a crib within the next 2 years, and you're gonna still be in your mother's fucking crib, renting out an apartment, renting out a room. He don't have his own space, so he can't go live. You can't even make noise, bro. You got to be on a hush hush, typing away your messages, man. Yasha Allah, you already know the deal. Thank you for being an entertainment. Have a good night. Keep waiting for the second coming of Christ as you wither away in this country, as you get older and older and closer to the day of your death, hoping for those planes in the sky to be a UFO that's going to take you away from here. Yeah, it is what it is, though. I don't have the pleasure of being I don't have the power of being a Hebrew Israelite cult leader that's taking money away from the members and then buying their own property and things like that. That's what's going on in the Hebrew Israelite community. You have people that are actually the villain, the bad guy, and they have all the money. This person probably doesn't agree with Nathaniel being the Yasha Allah. He probably doesn't agree with Nathaniel having so much power and control over so many people, you know, and having all this money come to him. And he probably owns property. I think he owns property in Albany, or somewhere upstate New York. Now, that money is coming from people that are like-minded, like you. And if you think that this country is going to be destroyed, obviously you don't want to buy any property, you know? But you know, these are clowns, man. Like, these are people that you like will come on your channel. Like this dude, I don't know who the hell this guy is. He's probably from the Jews versus Hebrew Israelites channel, because I've been waiting on somebody to come on from that channel. I've been calling these people out, and they refuse to come on and speak about their Hebrew Israelite beliefs. But yeah, I mean, people like this, this shit's crazy, man. Really think about it. These are people that the Hebrew Israelites expect. They've been telling their members. This guy, I think, was probably a year 2000 believer. You know, so people that thought Jesus Christ was going to come back in the year 2000, they don't want to buy property. They were told don't buy property because Jesus Christ is going to come back and he's going to destroy your property. So what sense does it make saving up and getting, buying a house and having your own property? Because Jesus Christ is just going to come and destroy it anyways. That's how these people think. And the joke was on them when Jesus Christ never came back. Jesus Christ never made his return and saved you from your so-called captivity. And here you are on the internet speaking willingly. Nobody's telling you what you can and can't do unless you want to commit a crime. What do you expect? Like, these people expect the world to be given to them. That's what I noticed about Hebrew Israelites. They expect, they're like narcissists. They are narcissistic sociopaths. A lot of them, you can see the traits clearly. Tazadakia was evident. Tahar, you can see it. Some of these like leaders, it's so evident that they're like these narcissistic people that they believe God is dealing with them. So now, not only do they think that they're better than you, they think that God is behind you, that there's like so much more credibility that they feel more so like validated by this imaginary magical being that is not real, that they can at least prove is real. Because you can have a very powerful thought. This is delusion, schizophrenia, and all of that. You have a very powerful thought in your mind, a very powerful idea that that you think is true, and you're the only person that can actually come to that conclusion. Nobody else can really confirm that. What's amazing though about these cults is that you have multiple people that actually start believing in the same lie, and they can all like kind of validate their own lie, and they can continue on believing in a lie and feeling that it's true because there's other people that actually confirm it around them. So yeah. Here we got Plain Truth. Hello, chat and brother. I saw a man named General Yohana drinking whiskey and a horsewhip, teaching the Bible. That's crazy. General Yohana. He got a horsewhip. Yeah, them cats be having horsewhips and shit like goddamn. It was a movie I saw called Made, M-A-D-E, with Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn. And there was an owner of a house that had these cats working in the house, building his house. And the owner comes in with a fucking whip, with a horse whip. And he's like fucking hitting people with the whip. You got to see that shit. Funny as hell. Gabriel Interiano. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Welcome back, Gabriel. Yeah, this has been I think Yasha Allah logged off of that account and logged in another account and came back on here. Sometimes you can tell by the way people type. But we're gonna get San Magal come on here. San Magal, he's gonna come on here later too. You know, you got San Miguel TV has a lot of haters. You're gonna see that, and it's gonna get worse when they start seeing me actually being more successful, more profitable than I already am. They're mad that I got so many followers already. They're mad that I have a live stream that even has a few people. Because I mean, my live streams. Listen, when I talk about the Hebrew Israelite stuff, I get a certain amount of people, coming on. When I talk about politics, I get a different crowd that comes in. So I could talk about different subjects, and I get different people, different, conversations. But yeah, I mean, we could keep talking about this Hebrew Israelite stuff because that always seems to be the main topic. I think that people like these leaders, man, you really look at like how far back they go. I was looking at some old videos of Nathaniel teaching back in the 90s. And I also, was watching videos of Yaquab teaching in the streets in the 90s. Nathaniel, Tahar, that's what I meant to say. So Tahar, Nathaniel, I saw Yaquab, you see Ariyah, you see Tazadakia, you see Tazapawan, and you see them in positions where they're not the leaders at the moment. They're actually just like a soldier or someone that is just a reader. They're not like the main teacher or whatever. They're just standing on the sideline. And all of a sudden, what gets into these people that all of a sudden they start to feel like they have the truth? I think that's something that needs to be like made aware of. Like look at the transition that people go through as a follower. Like there's a dude named Kazak, man. I don't know. I don't think he's a part of any group. I might be wrong. He might be a part of some group, but his name is Kazak Ariyah, I think. Strong Lion, some shit. Kazak Ariyah, Strong Lion, right? I've been wanting this cat to come on. I've been inviting him to my channel. We've had conversations where it was very, it was like a debate. It was getting heated. And then it's all on the comments on the Facebook fucking comment section. And I'm like, sir, why don't you come on my channel so we can actually talk about these things live? And you're not going to be able to just run away or go hours without responding, or you just don't respond to some of my messages. You're not going to be able to do that if I got you on a live stream. That's why a lot of these cats won't come on. I know that I could stand on my own too on a live stream and debate any of these Hebrew Israelites. And it could be Guerrilla Hebrew. It could be a leader of a Hebrew Israelite group. I've done that before when I was just in the beginning of me coming out of the cult, just starting to learn how to debate and what's wrong with these doctrines. But, I constantly go over Deuteronomy 28, verse 49, verse 35, verse 60, verse 68. I'll go into all of that stuff, whatever. When you look at Deuteronomy 28, verses 15 to 68, those conditions fall upon anybody that gets conquered. Anybody that gets conquered, those conditions fall upon them. And you can go into history and see that same thing has happened to Vikings, same thing has happened to Africans, same thing has happened to Jews, the real Jewish people, the real Jews, which Jewish, they want to say means kind of, sort of, not really like a Jew, because ish means it's not really like something like black-ish. So what about Spanish? What about British? What about Scottish? What about Irish? What about childish? Can a child still act childish? Or only adults can be childish? No, a child can still be childish. So because it's ish at the end of child, does that mean that he's not really a child? That's stupid. That's not what it means, especially when you talk about nationality or ethnicity or pertaining to a nation and you have the suffix ish. All that means is pertaining to a specific nation, a particular nation. Scottish people pertains to the land of Scotland. Irish people, it pertains to Ireland. So there's a group of people, an ethnic group or a nationality that pertains to a certain land. You have Swedish people are from Sweden. It doesn't mean that they're not really from Sweden because it says Swedish. That shit's crazy. So Hebrew Israelites that still use that logic, we already like y'all already been exposed. I've been exposed that whole way of thinking on this channel a long time ago. There's a scripture that says, Jacob shall not now wax pale. That's been a new one I've been going into, because they use that scripture to say, well, that means that the nation of Israel is never going to be white. And some of these same people will tell you that the nation of Israel consists of Argentinians, which are fucking white people, man. That dude, Kazakh Arya, Strong Lion, you know who you are. I'm waiting for you to come on my channel. I wonder if that's somebody affiliated with you, that Yashar Allah dude, because I've been destroying you on fucking Facebook, on that Facebook group. I'm going to show some of that stuff later, how he thinks Arsareth is America, man. And the references that he uses are not good references. Like they don't support anything that he's saying. And you can tell he's just parroting something that he heard, and he's never actually read the reference that he's referencing. Because there's no way that you can read what you're reading and still think that this supports what you believe in. This shit's crazy. But I think we should go into that Arsareth. Go into that a little bit. Meyer Kaseling's book that talks about Arsareth. And that never mentions Arsareth, I don't think, in Meyer Kaseling's book. Yeah, it doesn't even mention it. Columbus. Page 15. Damn, I could have sworn I already did a video talking about this shit. Let me see. A higher learning. This might be a good little video to watch. Let's present this screen. Now, I've never dealt with General Yohana at all. Personally, I've dealt with some of his minions like Tazaryak, Captain Tazaryak, Captain Katazar, and a few others, man, like from Florida. Were you part of an Israelite camp before? Yeah, I was part of the ICGJC. Let me see.
Are walking in and so on. Today we'll be reading out of Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese Discoveries by Dr. M. Kaseling from 1894. The book was. Going to chapter 6, pages 95 to 99. But out of this book, pages 95 and 99 are missing, so we just go through the ones that are here. Page 96. Indians and Israelites, titled Montesinos, who possessed the manuscripts of Luis Lopez, the learned bishop of Quito, was convinced that the Peruvians were of Jewish origin. The view of Roldan and the Gregorio Garcia, that the Aborigines of America were descendants of the Jews, was maintained with many arguments in one and the same year, 1650, independently by the Englishman Thorogood and by the Portuguese Jew Manasseh ben Israel, a renowned rabbi of Amsterdam, who induced Cromwell to allow the Jews to return to England, of Portuguese Morano of Villaflor, who, strange to say, also called himself Montesinos, and afterwards assumed the name Aaron Levi, or Levi. He informed Manasseh that he had mingled in South America with the Jews of the 10 tribes. Manasseh's book attracted much attention and was translated into Latin, Spanish, Dutch, English, Italian, and Hebrew. Nor has interest.
So this is some of the stuff that, like some of the books that Hebrew Israelites like to kind of show as some type of evidence. So when we talk about Meyer Kaseling's book, first of all, Meyer Kaseling published his book in the late 1800s. He never actually knew Christopher Columbus. So why are Hebrew Israelites using Meyer Kaseling's book about the Jews' participation in Spain to actually try to say that Christopher Columbus knew anything about the 10 tribes being in America and America being Arsaret? So we can actually find that book by Meyer Kaseling. Right online, it's free. Let me see. I think he published the book in like 1894 or something like that. I think that's what the dude said on there, but I think he's right on that. Obviously, they don't go to the actual book, but you can find it online as Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese Discoveries. So if you go down to archive.org, you could actually get this book, for free. So these people claim that on page 15, right? The Jewish Encyclopedia actually even says this. Let's actually look at that first. Stop sharing that screen and share this screen. If you type up Arzareth with a Z, Arzareth, it says, the Jewish Encyclopedia says, the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the restoration, according to second Esdras. They say fourth Esdras because that's how it was broken up at that time. There's actually 4 different books when you look at the original, or actually the Catholic Bible. The Catholic Bible has 4 books of Esdras. I think that's what they're looking at. But then it says the name. Okay, according to the 4th book of Esdras, right? Verse 45, chapter 13, right? Verse 45. Columbus identified America with this land. This is the Jewish Encyclopedia. C. Kaseling's Christopher Columbus, translated by Dr. C. Gross, page 15. Yeah, so it's not Dr. Meyer Kaeserling, it's Dr. C. Gross. He translated it. And when you actually go to the book, page 15, right? Let's see if these Hebrew Israelites do any of the research. The shit that they share, they're parroting. They're not even researching it themselves. It's crazy. But this is the book right here. As you can see for yourself. This is Christopher Columbus and the participation of the Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese discoveries. This is history right here, right? But this is somebody writing about somebody else in history. This is not a first-hand account, which even that is questionable. Well, we can go past the preface into page 15. And we'll read what these people are saying is Columbus identifying America as Arsaret. You're gonna see it's just not the case, man. Let me see if I can. No. Okay, let me just, I guess, zoom out. So it continues off from page 14, and it's talking about this book interested Columbus so much. Right? It's talking about a certain book that was available in Spain, in Morocco, and this is nothing to do with the Bible. This is not talking about the Apocrypha, Second Esdras yet. But then it says, if you read right here in page 15, right? This is page 15 as it shows here. It really starts off here where it says, he, which is talking about Columbus, he was also very fond of reading the Bible and the fourth book of Ezra, which was probably written by a Jew who lived outside of Palestine. According to his own assertion, the incentive that impelled him to plan his discoveries was not a love of science, because he knew the earth was a sphere. So he knew that if he kept going west, he'll eventually make it to Indonesia or what they call Cathay and Cipango, which is Asia. You know, and this is where people in Asia were known as Indians. This is why the Native Americans were called Indians by Christopher Columbus, because he thought he went so far west that he ended up in Asia, which is, you could do that if America wasn't in the way. That's why the Panama Canal is so vital, it's so important, because it serves as a way to cross through that big landmass, which is known as America, but you do it in a little space called the Panama Canal, and then you get to the Pacific Ocean from the Atlantic Ocean, from the Caribbean, you know, from the Gulf of Mexico into the Panama Canal, leaving, now coming into a whole different ocean, which is the Pacific Ocean. And then now those ships, if you want to travel from Puerto Rico to Malaysia, the best way to do it is to go through the Panama Canal and go west towards, across the Pacific Ocean. Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 40 through 47. They want to stop at 46, but read verse 47 too. It shows you that what they crossed over was actually a river, which is the river Euphrates, when it says they passed over. We're going to read that too. But it says, according to his own assertions, the incentive that impelled him to plan his discoveries was not a love of science, but his interpretation of the prophecies of Isaiah. In Portugal, Columbus earnestly, so not Ezra, but Isaiah, you know? So who knows what that's talking about? In Portugal, Columbus earnestly conceived the idea of making maritime discoveries by way of the West. Yeah, he knew that the earth was a sphere, and if he went west, he can discover, because people always thought that the earth was flat and that you're going to fall off the edge of the earth if you go too far west. But Columbus knew that you can go west and you're not going to fall off no fucking edge of the earth. And he studied Marco Polo's routes. He read his books. He read all the shit on Marco Polo. And that's what it says right here. When it says, in Portugal, Columbus earnestly conceived the idea of making maritime discoveries by way of the West. He wished to find a new ocean route to the regions of Cathay and Cipango. Cathay is China. Cipango is Japan. Cipango, Japan. It all comes from the same etymology. And you can look into this. We're going to go into that in a few. It says, which were reputed to be rich in gold and spices, because he also heard about Genghis Khan. Gulf of America. Yes, sir. What's good, Rocco Marino? But yeah, this is something we went over before. This is the actual book written by Meyer Kaeserling, which talks about Columbus and the participation of the Jews in Spain and Portugal and the discovery of America and all of this. It's showing you right here that they were trying to find a new ocean route. He wished to find a new ocean route to the regions of Cathay and Cipango, which were reputed to be rich in gold and spices, and also to the realm of the priest king John, whose letter to Pope Eugene IV or to Emperor Frederick III, a Jew is said to have first published in the middle of the 15th century. Henry the Navigator had already conceived a similar plan, and the Portuguese kings never lost sight of it. This bold conception took firm root in the mind of Columbus, mainly through a letter which the great Florentine physician and astrologer Toscanelli sent to King Joao through the monk, blah, blah, blah. We can keep reading this. I just want to get that page, which these Hebrew Israelites say, page 15, right? We're in page 15. There it is. It's not mentioning Arsareth at all. It doesn't say anything about Arsareth. It actually mentions Cathay and Cipango. Cathay. Where is Cathay? Let's see. Cathay is a historical name for China that was used in Europe. Cathay is China. You see that? It's a historical name for China. Has nothing to do with America. It has nothing to do with Columbus trying to come to America because he knew that the 10 tribes were over here or anything like that. He thought that he was going to find descendants of the 10 tribes in Asia, in China. But what he found was what he thought was Indians, and they weren't speaking no Hebrew because he had a Hebrew interpreter, and they had to learn their language and learn how to communicate, and it took years. They don't talk about that shit. So what is Cipango now? Cipango. So we know Cathay is China. Cipango is an old-fashioned name for Japan. Japan. This is Asia. That's where Columbus was trying to go. Why do you think that he was calling these people Indians, man? They were all calling them Indians. Now, we can read 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40 through whatever the hell. 40 through 47. Let's do that. And I'm gonna have to get off around midnight. What time is it? Yeah, we got like 30 to 45 more minutes. Gulf of Mexico, baby. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13. Why is it only 40 through 42? No. Give me 40 through 47. Give me your love. I'm about to go puff some more Mary Jane, man. Should have brought some more for the live. I welcome all of y'all. Let's go into this, man. Let's talk about this Hebrew Israelite stuff. That's what it always gets to. Always got Hebrew Israelites that want to go to war. So that's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to read 2nd Ezra chapter 13. We already read the reference that these Hebrew Israelites like to attach themselves to, which is actually the Jewish encyclopedia. Now, they call Jewish people the synagogue of Satan. So if Jewish people are the synagogue of Satan, then why are you trusting their encyclopedia to tell you any truth? That's crazy. So let's read it. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40 to 47. It says, these are the 10 tribes which were led away captive from their own land, into captivity in the days of King Hoshea, whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led captive. He took them across the river, and they were taken into another land. That's the river Euphrates. But they formed this plan for themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the nations and go to a more distant region where mankind had never lived, that there at least they might keep their statutes, which they had not kept in their own land. So this is history. The 10 tribes, or a good majority of the northern tribes, the northern Israelites, were taken from the land of Israel and actually taken captive into Assyria around 720 BC. Some people say 702 BC, 722 BC. That's around the time that all of this happened. And then they were taken across a river, right? It says that they crossed the river. Then it says, where never mankind had lived, right? Yeah, let me blow it up. That there at least they might keep their statutes, which they had not kept in their own land. And they went in by the narrow passages of the Euphrates River. It actually says the Euphrates River there. That's crazy. It actually tells you in this version, the English Standard Version, that it was the Euphrates River. For at that time, the Most High performed signs for them and stopped the channels of the river until they had passed over. So it's talking about them crossing a river. It's not talking about them going across the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean. It's not even talking about anything like that. Then it says, remember, it says that God stopped the channels of the river until they had passed over. What did they pass over? The actual river that was dried up, or that was not getting a flow anymore. The channels was not going through the river. The water was not coming down. It was stopped. This is supposedly what happened. This is similar to what happened during the time of Moses with the Red Sea, or during the time of Moses or Joshua with the Jordan River. So it says, verse 45, through that region, there was a long way to go, a journey of 1.5 years. And that country, which is the region, is called Arsaret. They actually went through a whole land that mankind didn't live at, that doesn't mean that it was a whole fucking continent. They're making it seem like the whole continent was never mankind dwelt in America, in any of the Americas, in the Caribbean, until 720 BC. Yo, that is not true, man. That is laughably incorrect. If you think that people have not dealt or dwelt in America until 720 BC, yo, you're highly mistaken. You're off by tens of thousands of years, man. You're off by tens of thousands of years, at least 20,000 years. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 18,000, but you're off. Verse 46, then they dwelt there until the last time, and now, when they are about to come again, the Most High will stop the channels of the river again, so that they may be able to pass over. Pass over what? The river, the stream. How can this be talking about America? And if they dwelt in America until the last days, how come when it's time for them to come back, it says that the Most High will stop the channels of the river again? What river are you going to cross over to get from America and get back to the land of Israel? You're going to go from America to the land of Israel by crossing a river? That doesn't make any sense, and you know that it doesn't. And what's the definition of the word Euphrates? This is another bomb right here. What does the word Euphrates mean? Let's go to etymology online. The name Euphrates finds its ancient origins. Hold on. The name Euphrates finds its origins in ancient Greece, where it derived from the Greek word Euphrates, meaning good crossing. So what does the scripture tell you in 2nd Ezra chapter 13? Is that they passed over, or they crossed the river. What did they pass over? It was the Euphrates. The river Euphrates was always easy to cross over. Not always. There's certain times when the river can get wild and it makes it harder to cross over. And maybe the Israelites thought, well, at this point, it's not so wild. We can cross over. The Lord helped us to cross over. And this oral story, this tradition, this folk tale, this folklore carried on as truth that they crossed over because God helped them cross over, when it's like sometimes that river dries up. There have been many years where that river would dry up. So the Euphrates, what is the Euphrates? It says the Mesopotamian river arising in Armenia and flowing to the Persian Gulf. Old English Euphrates, from Greek Euphrates, from Old Persian Euphratu, perhaps from Avestan Huperathua. Good to cross over. From the who, good, Perutu, ford, to lead or pass over. This is exactly what it's talking about. This is Akkadian. This is the land of the Akkadians right here. They had a powerful empire. They brought the children of Israel across the river. And then the Israelites fled and crossed that same river. But which way did they go? Which way did they go? People say they went to Africa. People say they went east. People say they went on a journey, on a voyage across the seas, over the oceans. But it says they passed over a stream, a river. And when it comes time for them to come back, they have to pass over a stream again, which is a river. This is clearly showing you that this is not a voyage across the ocean, across oceans or seas and rivers and all of this. You got to take a river to get to the seas. Then you get to the ocean from the seas. And then the ocean's going to spit you out into the land. Where did the 10 tribes land? What coast? Show me the ships that have Assyrian wood, whatever trees, what do they call them? Like how they have the trees in Syria and damn, I forgot what they call them. In the scriptures, it tells you about the fir trees, I think it's called, FIR. But there should be a certain type of wood that you're not going to be able to locate anywhere in the Americas to make these boats out of. First of all, where did they get these boats or these ships to get to America? Where did they get that from? It doesn't tell you that in the scriptures. So you have to assume that happened. None of that is spoken about in detail at all. It's telling you that they cross over a river. That's why I like the English Standard Version, because it's plain and simple. When you Hebrew Israelites who are fucking ghettofied, you don't know shit about languages, you can barely speak the English language, and you're trying to tell me that you know old British English, you know how to interpret. You cats have been deceived, man, fooled. Shit, it's happened to a lot of us up in here. But when it tells you that they passed over the stream, or that God held the channels of the flood until they were passed over, what did they pass over? It was the Euphrates River that they passed over. How can you pass over an ocean? Like, that doesn't even make sense. You pass over a river. How can you pass over an ocean? That doesn't make any sense. That's a long voyage to get across, from Assyria into the Euphrates and the Tigris into the Persian Gulf, is what they're saying. Into the sea that comes out of the Persian Gulf. I forget what that's called. Then you got the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. Like, is that they can't even tell you which way they went. Did they go east and take the Pacific Ocean route through the Indian Ocean and all of that? These are multiple oceans. So how many oceans did they pass over? They said they passed over one thing. That's the Euphrates River. That's why when it comes time for them to come back, it says, the Lord shall stay the springs of the stream again until they will pass over. A stream is a river. This is plain and simple. It's talking about the Euphrates River. All these Hebrew Israelites know that. Like, when I went head to head with Guerrilla Hebrew and spoke about all this shit, these Hebrew Israelites know that the scriptures is clearly, when you go into the different translation, it clearly tells you that it's talking about the river Euphrates, and it's all talking about them being in that same region. That's why they can't answer when it says through that country. It took 1.5 years. I'll ask them what country did they go through for 1.5 years from Assyria to get to America. Man, you can't keep lying to people for so long after people start asking good questions like that. Nobody ever asked these questions to these Hebrew Israelites. These guys want immunity where they can just teach and nobody can, respond. Nobody can rebuttal. I'm constantly having people come on. You can come on and we can talk about this stuff. And when it comes to things like this, I don't think that these cats have an answer, because they're the ones that are claiming all this stuff that it just doesn't add up. They're the ones that are latching on to the Jewish encyclopedia that lies to them. They'll tell you that Jewish people are the synagogue of Satan, and then they'll use the Jewish encyclopedia and not actually go into the reference and read it and actually, like, where's the screenshot where it says Arsareth is America, or Columbus thought Arsareth was America? You never see any screenshots of that. Wouldn't that be like something that Hebrew Israelites would constantly use? Nah, but they'll use a Jewish encyclopedia that tells you that somewhere in another book, it tells you that Columbus identified America as Arsareth. None of y'all ever looked into this and actually took a screenshot of it where it says that? We have Columbus's fucking autobiography, his diary. Nowhere did he ever say that the Indians were speaking Hebrew. Nowhere did he ever say that America is Arsareth. He thought that he was in Indonesia. He thought that he was in Asia. He called them Indians. Cathay and Cipango was the route that he was trying to get to. He was trying to find new routes to get to those lands, which is modern day China and Japan. We just read it. Hit the rewind button, man. We've been going for 2 hours already. It's 11:30. I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Make sure you like this video. Give the video a thumbs up. What else can I say? What's going on in America? What's happening in America? Is America Arsareth? Why are there so many Hebrew Israelites? Is it an awakening? Is God waking them up and preparing them for the kingdom because they're going to take the kingdom? Yeah, that's what a lot of these cats believe. But I appreciate y'all coming through, man. I'm going to call it a night. Give the video a thumbs up and all that stuff. Share it, comment, and catch me on the next live, man. I might be on again tomorrow night. So much love to y'all. I thank everybody for coming through. Everybody that came through, appreciate y'all. Peace out. Have a good night.